1992 Constitution that the most fundamental and hallowed right of every Ghanaian that the 1992 Constitution gives and jealously guards is that when anyone, including the President and Vice President, is embarking on an act, on any act that violates any provision of the Constitution, or if anyone is of the considered opinion that any law or rule enacted by any legislative body breaches the Constitution, that person can run to the Supreme Court for enforcement of the Constitution. That person does not even need to be directly affected by that act or law. This Supreme Court regularly exercises this original and exclusive jurisdiction for citizens of this country. Second, Article 130 provides, 131, subject to the jurisdiction of the High Court in the enforcement of the fundamental human rights and freedoms as provided in Article 33 of this Constitution, the Supreme Court shall have exclusive original jurisdiction and in all matters relating to the enforcement or interpretation of this Constitution. All matters arising as to whether an enactment was made in excess of the powers conferred on Parliament or any other authority or persons by law or under this Constitution. Where an issue that relates to matter or question referred to in clause 1 of this article arises in any proceedings in a court other than the Supreme Court, that court shall stay the proceedings and refer the question of law involved to the Supreme Court for determination. And the court in which the question arose shall dispose of the case in accordance with the decision of the Supreme Court. This means that if anyone finds that a meaning is being given to any provision of the 1992 Constitution that the person disputes, or that any act is being done by reason of a disputed meaning given to the Constitution, then Article 2 and Article 131A mandates that only the Supreme Court has jurisdiction to provide the people of Ghana with a correct interpretation of the provision in the Constitution. Third, it is the most basic tenet of our legal system that different courts operate different jurisdictions, and every court is given its own jurisdiction. So the type of cases that can be settled in any court depends on the nature of the dispute. Thus, if someone is challenging that a member of Parliament has not lawfully won their seat, that challenge must be done at the High Court in the region that the constituency is in. However, if any two people challenge that the process of electing the same member of Parliament did not conform with the constitutional provision, that dispute over the correct interpretation or meaning of the constitutional provision must be brought to the Supreme Court for interpretation. Indeed, if the dispute over correct interpretation or meaning of the relevant provision occurs while the parties are before the High Court must, by direction of Article 132, stop hearing the case and refer the dispute over the correct interpretation of the Constitution to the Supreme Court. There are many cases on this manner of resolving disputes requiring constitutional interpretation, including ex parte Senator Rawlings, citation provided. In every given month and year, the Supreme Court regularly deals with cases seeking interpretation and enforcement of provisions of the 1992 Constitution. And every law report issued every month is filled with such cases. It is therefore misinformation and misapprehension of law for the applicant to present that the Supreme Court has no jurisdiction to provide the correct interpretation of Article 97(1)(g), because Article 99 gives jurisdiction over determination of membership of Parliament to the High Court. In 1992,
okay, so the last edition of Punch, the month of October, as it were, gradually is coming to an end, and the last edition of Punch on Kessben television is today, so that next week will be in the 11th month of the year, which is November, and you know what it means. We are getting closer to the last month, which is December, and December is a big deal because of the penultimate election that is coming in December. But before December, there's November to contend with, and then before November, the last days of October is here, to discuss national issues. So, on Punch on Kessben television, about your 4 ethnasia. 1, Sewumpeo, Supreme Court, abaye relevant this week. Enam and some are a Parliament akowie was Supreme Court. Na was a Supreme Court court na se neda. And some are was Supreme Court. Application. Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Abambabeng, Omane lawyers, ya what they call Supreme Court say, Nanka, one set aside, and I won't vacate the earlier ruling, and I order, now in respect of speaker or non so the ruling now and related matters and no any that Supreme Court courts na say one ruling and you on Punch we'll look at it near her say moving forward in a saying and something. Of course, political leaders leading the various political parties, the main political parties being the NDC and then the NPP, will Ghana this year, so will pro from constituency to constituency campaigning for Ghanaians. Say about December 7, na Ghana for Kotwaba. One twaba Emma one based on A, B, C, D, E. Now in the National Democratic Congress, led by His Excellency the former President JDM John Dramani Mahama, and some being Ena Oka as he seeks the mandate of Ghanaians for December 7. Is he ready for debates and answer answers to 5 questions? Now, what the 5 LKG 50 and no response saying ena eba. And you on Punch on Kessben television. We are also live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube, and then all social media handles. We are discussing national issues. Send our you can send us a message, a text message, and a WhatsApp message. Na yakin kind. Now, our text line or our WhatsApp line is on the screen, 0551599933, 0551599933 is our text line or our WhatsApp line. Just send us a text or a WhatsApp message. Now, I'm just saying I will be in your brave. Meeting at the Ohene Gyan lawyer. Thank you. And I will say thank you too. Welcome once again to the last edition of Punch on Kessben Television. Very interesting week, of course, because of Nekoso was Supreme Court ended that. Today we're having two segments. The first segment having exclusive discussion with lawyer who speaks for the National Democratic Congress at a very high pedestal. Meneno ebeye the first session, and then after that. Kofi Tonto, who also as a spokesperson, not a spokesperson when it comes to this campaign. He is a very important personality who speaks for the vice president, who is the flag bearer of the new patriotic party. Kofi Tonto come for the last segment. So, Yatra said, "Na yeshe Jumadi na sia enono." Lawyer Safuduku is a private legal practitioner in the Republic of Ghana. He is a prominent member of the NDC in Ashanti region and the nation as well. He is the deputy director legal NDC Ashanti region and former NDC parliamentary candidate Afija Secretary East constituency. Lawyer, memo akwaba. Na it is saying.
Over the other room. Apumie.
Okay. So Omar can activated.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay. Now straight up, Supreme Court na say neda. I mean Justice is net trust, being led by no other person than the Chief Justice herself. I mean, like she was plain clear, straight to the point. So certain issues to her 11111. At the end of the day, application now a speaker, a man a lawyer said the Kodom Supreme Court no born in Nagui say ebia niwa na merit bia a womb. Very key findings, and I would just so our day ebo ediguye. Now, may quickly let me recap so that you come in and then I seek your opinion on that. The kind now lawyers for Honorable Right Speaker of Parliament Abambaben say the substantive rate I invoke the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court a plenty fair Honorable Afenyo Markin at the Kodom Supreme Court no ne dikan or say sa rate na nkasa krampo no Supreme Court for any jurisdiction say wobe entertain sa rate no because na adwen ye no say ba say declaration of vacancy e wo Ghana ha edia in terms of article 97(1) G and H edia the resort no is to article 99(1)(a) of the 1992 Constitution Emma High Court exclusive jurisdiction to determine sa matter no it the dikan or say na Supreme Court for one shena one kase Supreme Court na nkra ni jurisdiction say Afenyo Markin case no krampo wo besom. That is one. Number two, ose kwanya bailiffs our free Supreme Court our course or servo speaker with sa process the substantive rate itself kwanya our far so at the mode of service our so the koto table be so a parliament hono and proper service and and also so no Wombongu say kwanya wo fa so a servo speaker no enye proper service actually say by enhyehyɛ Chief Justice any speaker na atna say aye no you can only serve Speaker of Parliament or a member of Parliament only on Mondays and until day na omko servo sa rate no na a Tuesday. It is omo anye na omo return the process no e de call the registry wa Supreme Court for kwa transcended and one yin tum say service on the speaker no itself was wrong, irregular, and he's not served properly. Near a tosobiem and so and they say now what say Supreme Court say Supreme Court order na or issue ye for stay of execution of a right honorable speaker of parliament Abambabeng. The ruling now on the 17th of October no. Sa stay order now or issue ye no. Supreme Court kwanya or fast or issue that order no wrong in terms of procedure, any law, any BBA, and until one kasa weti, until one share now one set aside, one ankasa one void order na or issue, you know. I mean, these and other related matters, and our day. Ekodom Supreme Court. Supreme Court should shame no aboni nyina guse bia anywhere enyina so bia ewom. Now straight up no main court lawyer ho na menje ne binim se no shame bia na say the other day Supreme Court ohwe ni nyina no bia o say merit bia ni waboni nyina agu. What says he?
Ohene me dasi didi kai no nanka the people discussion say benya the full reasoned ruling.
Okay.
Ama atimi aboye.
Okay.
Because the 5 issues no one by one and the first one no has got to do with the rate itself. Say Supreme Court award the original jurisdiction. Say in such matters now yebeka sa akonya bia to parliament no a Supreme Court odwuma and answer a high court odwuma ye nyina nim say Supreme Court wo issues or original jurisdiction. Lawyers no so almost 30 said they will count 99 ho no. Emma who clearly say, as something that house is here is about I could never be to a parliament and send to here. And here 1. 2, a service of the rate. If it is true, say, rate no crown bono. Yes, sir, a returnee, and the registry of the Supreme Court there. Let us have to me, we are not even talking about improper service. Service has not been affected or was not affected. And
but what Supreme Court for in Abia so we are quite one Chief Justice she was clear say Abia na speaker no na or can misapprehension no train me who say na or speaker na Abia na ntiase no Abia or de ntiase na nko yie dia because o can say enhyehyɛ da parliament any Chief Justice ho that's a near boy address or moye or no so by a crown and a trace assign a team beam they say. Who's the parliament or moon trace Mondays? And the Mondays there's a local service speaker. And I'm say on Tiwa all year Jumantino. Who bet me as seven personally on Monday. But from Tuesday to Friday now what snazzy year Jumano. So person will serve speaker. You don't serve it personally on the speaker. Serve it on the legal parliamentary legal service no. Once you serve them, no, it will be deemed the proper service. And in Tina Chief Justice said, Speaker, yes, so say, to the extent say was serve no, a Tuesday, no, on to me can say, and your proper service because of the secular na why issue no. Now it was a proper service. I think say, so she was clear on that.
So was it true rate no? Omo de kwana so mujano.
Oh, so
believe in him say. The all correct there. I think there's some commuja rate no.
So buja
no
returning no ye a speaker ne ma parliamentary service for no extra letter. Say we return process no e dey akoma the Supreme Court registry, which me know as lawyers in him say won't you mean throw letters or return a legal process. You have to file proper services to get to set it aside.
You don't need to say the only say a Chief Justice went against a speaker went.
Anyway,
you say only now we can just say I agree on. And if so that say mind your man say mind on. You know so I agree on in principle no. A question never first 17 just speaker will hate back.
Well.
Also Baba Bechim. And the last one here what the last issue no.
I think say jurisdiction and then the order no setting aside the order as a void order because Supreme Court no any mandate or be intrude into the workings
And,
of the state that's na make
the state no Ohene Gyan you na him say the issue at stake no nipa do no agidi say enye you be a fair interpretation ho because the issue is very clear say emrani say who declare say so party do buy you and say the status within which are the parliament no say who decide say what you want from there any automatically no ulusu usit in the amount for GD say and yet constitutional interpretation mean about say eno na Supreme Court ebe mu nti yakoya
that's a group for no mo yadwe who was a lawyer I don't think so no mo be yadwe
no say the law no is clear
law which aspects
the
97 one 97 one G and H no na clear and ko be the interpretation to so
enti no at the end so ebiasi there's a president ayi na you say guy dey it Ohene Gyan say no Supreme Court akasa ediminu nyina no ye nyina ebande but the interesting aspect is say man for candidate the man Supreme Court asem we buy no the man with which almost 110 them no
na nyesa na open no
anka saa na nko apply to other cases so who say you want spending cases ya nyina e fa man for ho issues we nyina be ebo down but at this time that's open the man for mention sal there this IGPTQ one nyina no e go there we and also the one and say come for protest in the best Supreme Court is so consistent you say twema mentwe bi abaga na ha omuna ebebe mu bekasa inti ye no mu ni asem bia na emom omunya consistent
okay
asem bi e ba e wo national interest bia no omomfa no ye den ni ahoden ne saa enye na mamfo nya gidi omum
okay
na bia e ka kono de mamfo ye lose confidence
oh really
oh yes
because Supreme Court say asem we no be di
no
but this one is a constitutional interpretation which affects two arms of we parliament workings of parliament because Ndra Chief Justice can say be or say by speaker ruling no now who's there be can say including lawyers be say their order na ruling na abenye no enye order from a court. And you want to mean stay an order in free court any executable.
Yes.
I mean lawyers,
yes.
some lawyers
yes.
were arguing.
Yes.
We say, oh, I don't know any executable order. And it is not coming from a court.
Sir.
And the Supreme Court, you know, it to mean can say oh stay. But not a Supreme Court for no say by speaker ruling no. Speaker deprive 4 members, sitting members of parliament of their right as members of parliament without being heard. 1. 2. Constituents are what to about what they want by parliament. What they were to by be one can be shema with him so to about man for parliament. By speaker ruling no. Now a deprive 4 constituencies or Ghana ha without any representation in parliament, without any opportunity for them to go and elect a replacement member of parliament because of say by Article 1126 of the Constitution, Electoral Commission in Timin by election or see these matters no a border on irreparable hardship. And where an irreparable hardship will occur because of a ruling no Supreme Court are obey interpretation of that provision no every mandate say obey issue appropriate orders to prevent irreparable hardship. Odo mo nya aju.
And I tell you sorry busa na say. Na ruling no ebe ma parliament yakoseti na.
Oh but I mean
you don't compare parliament to go and sit.
No say no no has nothing to do with what is before the Supreme Court.
The MPs no more years had no. They knew or ought to have known the consequences of the actions.
Now mo constituency so.
Now they don't want to call you. They take decisions for and on their behalf.
Come on.
And I got served for no much for 4 years. And go and
oh, but this
I don't know for example, is a lawyer. Only the actions in the consequences, you know, these are they say.
No, but they have said not this term of parliament, but next term of parliament, and not this term. And you say issues no just straightforward. And it is obiako for interpretation. Why don't you allow Supreme Court to interpret it so that we are all good to go?
Okay, time.
Also be an court.
Yo, you didn't have a grumble.
No, but one I am one this in a friend MTN a friend is saying 10 no right? Honorable 10 no. One coin independent didn't see Ghana.
Oh, no.
So we who's a sambana obian resin as an issue. I saw an issue.
So what we are saying is that you never respect Supreme Court decision.
Let's respect
but
Supreme
Court.
But
consistent.
Okay.
Because you can say some constituents heirs of an it of all baby.
Well, say what is before Supreme Court is what they deal with.
In your case, you go on cleaning.
To be fair to them, what is before them is what they deal with.
But I know, say, honorable speaker and lawyers, they will hit back.
Now, honorable speaker, the interest was the same way.
No.
So we a speaker, we a speaker, we a speaker, we a neutral person, we a member of parliament, we a neutral person. So be there some cause Supreme Court to interpret here. One as a speaker and we interest pie was the same way when I was say chinchinia wo no person idea because interest ben no the same way.
You know, yeah, boss, you be shape the democratic.
And then Supreme Court interpret the interest in the
idea of Ghana.
Speaker interest here then.
If you answer what can say now we are court then you know your bonus shape near me.
Nti buano ni sabins.
I want
to what's over hit back into the Bibisa because you know I said you hit back when you have a vested interest in the matter.
He has a vested interest.
Speaker an interest here there
for Ghanaians.
Obias man.
To shape up the democratic dispensation of Ghana.
Obias man speaker.
Indeed, more one thing now. If we are something about Obia interest room.
Anyway, that is very interesting one. Now Yembra a that is for the Supreme Court. Now Yembra a NDC. Here a former president John Dramani Mahama as my flag bearer. Also I issue 5 questions at the ama Dr. Baumia. Dr. Baumia also say we 50 questions. Now when some now mobile no okay kind of meaning why I could do sa level no but my point in say a few months to an election. Is it about campaigning and telling people what you can do to get their mandate, or there's answer 5 questions. Brian debate, I will say me wouldn't me level, me no debate. O me wa 2 questions a man, so forum ben no person answer some questions no answer. How will it? How do you situate?
Yeah.
Some questions and answers and we so about 50 questions. I feel there. What turning into ISI. Where that you saw person may you why?
Only that in the first place, and yet through a debate in Kwana, you been the vice president and the flag bearer of the MPP. I'm not can so much Ghana for.
Okay.
This is somebody or ma if we are singing who say, oh yeah, an economic messiah. And I'm for anymore you who any serious economic transformation in Ghana. And mind you, in a debate, former President Mahama Kura said if even he decides to debate Baumia, you know, they go boost questions. A panel being a boost questions, the issue of say Christian debate is neither here nor there. You will not get the opportunity to ask Baumia any question. And this is the appropriate forum. And the questions of business now are very, very relevant.
And the forum no person or the no man.
As one of them.
The
forum no number of me a created in those days no or lectures no man for budget so never giant no so go no can say Ghana for say and some can no say na duru and no can economy ho asem biem no and na my refer no.
Okay.
So the forum no the various the forum the various lecture rooms no ko jiri na no. Any public horse no kwaji je yana no kasa mama mfo boy nsema no waja to
onya ni campaign no kwaji public no answer questions
campaign any for any jai.
Okay,
maybe it make campaign no go schools me na go campaign in the so start no here
okoho obeka ka che nkrofo ne ono betimi aya ama Ghana sabri no onfa nko yiyi sansem na no
okoho a manfo no have the opportunity sa questions here ebusa yi eno na obi a edo obi akoma so.
Okay.
Ghana we can be as my about the economy, the macro and the microeconomic policies, and one amount for pay.
That be manifesto no one share quite first economic issues or better no.
Mementi and team.
Okay.
I said 2016 no more manifesto.
Okay.
Only you in the front liner.
Okay.
Omeka hunse. And the questions not from my president Mama was irrelevant.
Onyiano. Okay. Na 50 nso so a ono so former president Mama Onyiano no so e.
Na about me and one some reader. Ofani. And when you quite just 50 questions. No, Mama see useless questions.
Okay.
Ugandans are not interested in when they see national theater, when they see where we are.
How would he know?
Masa, you will grow Ohene Gyan. Me know in enemy say among for interest in the economy.
Okay. But I say, no, I don't necessarily so the another 50 any day useless. But the 5 any day, the 5 any day,
What's somebody here pagan of 4 and 5 now? What about it?
Okay, that's it. Now I read the NDC for campaign and what then Ghana for Reswa want to about Emma a former president Mahama because don't forget say Moko 2016 namona Moabem Mokan Sembia Ghana for Ange Antum. You lost. Yebeko 2020 elections. Issues are more raising in Nay Dodona and more raising. Still, Ghana for rejected former President Mahama. And the Nay dear different and a former president all can a bet check Ghana for a coma. Ubenya GD on the Musa want to abamano.
Well, the Maureen Fisher, the current president, Okonem Prince.
Okay.
And Sana Ghana for 18 in Samasi.
But no media the
No media the other. But you know, lies, deceit. You can shame go for 3 more months for yes, papa. We free a pair a check. In the interest be and some how can say ampa. We believe say after Ghanaian some an opportunity connect for the MPP 8 years now or more be biano. The time has come for Ghanaians to say former President Mama afede yen sama na chance na nsem ni na no Ohene Gyan unim say your manifesto no nye da kro pani trans yo unlike MPP dey hu ya na say aba and obi say man for some MPP manifesto mo say ko ni ma wo but former president Mama ne to okọ year throughout the country a ogigi nkofo opinion ni ideas no eno na oye we nyina nti oyi ba ko peto ha the 24 economy ko oyi tu ho no na shake Ghana nyina ne obi ye ka ho asem. But I'm for say no go na policy. Ohene Gyan mamen kasem so. MGC manifesto no. In 7 chapters.
Okay.
Now me summarizing in our for 1 chapter 1. No. But before that, the main theme of the manifesto no was resetting Ghana. Jobs, accountability, prosperity.
Okay.
That is a man for MPP can say upgrading. Ohene Gyan upgrading just say bibi e koso aye page mam na koso enti ene akoro person ko first class in high school I see who person unya kwa uro mu through connection betria 15,000 no ene upgrading na
no but there are people are more no so we talk question but there are people are sabionka ebia fie a wo frim any kura wo frim no one nanso that's obenya kwan akọ grade A or first class schools are on the an say obehu say admissions here I placement here abai you did not to first grade A or first class schools are only more bia or connection amano
na say any first time will be from
no I'm saying for a fact say that people are omuni mo bia or bekwa ko hu obia ko tua even 1 city I am placing into
if you come on entrance time be 6 ene it in your free SHS by into na obi nya kwai akọ school agonya kwai
because question na obi say as if says one ko tua ska unya kwai grade A
school and catch that say and so person unya kwai ko school awakoma pe na yes o tua ska kese to that the teen of 15,000
na me sure say that people are won tua hwe omunya grade A school se ko omuni mo bia
I know the order that 2 yanko upgrade ene galamse a agin ensemo na ene upgrade ana corruption agin ensemo no ene MPP say upgrade ana every aspect of the economy of the country be are saying and now Ohene Gyan only mean enemy say there's no job in Ghana. So public sector, whatever private sector control, public sector yeah or minor diano. Even in teaching, I na you call more pain. So we are going to say maybe some study here. You be found directed that without by means of protocol. No job in Ghana.
No job saying.
Aduma bi no so ba apply say. Ya fa on merit genuinely.
That's when the person ye a job placement. Some people importer, then people apply
and I'm saying you apply. But you few not even what you found
no, maybe Fabian can be going to be. I don't know. So because
take it for me.
So yeah, what Obio teacher now try the
Obio person who enter into any public service.
I just go to yes.
Next thing you can answer protocol we so on side work yam foul.
Me
na make it so. And that is what is happening. Okay. Almost you know na upgrading the dia. Ghanaians say no. In your resetting.
Okay.
In
this resetting no be there. What is resetting? Because resetting in it ordinary way no mean say start afresh like started from ground zero.
Resetting and say because of abai binti corruption ti ama enen kwada kra ekopesike dro enipa mindset nyina asɛn enti ehia abai a ɔde nneɛma beto kwa mu ama Ghana fo hu say na sɛ ɔkwan sɛ fa so
nneɛma bi ni den saa nneɛma no bi ni epɛsɛ yɛte na bi ni den
nneɛma no bi ni sɛ sisi a amno ka sɛ corruption agi Ghana ba bia enso yɛntimi mfa yɛ na nsi fam sɛ enipa ɔmo ho ɛbɔ mu a sɛ nka ɔman no timi di ɔmo nsa si fam sɛ yɛmfo ɔmo kɔgyina baabi ne yɛntwe ɔmo aso no nyina ntimi nyɛ enti NDC ne ɔmampani Mahama Eba no ɔse saa nneɛma no nyinaa bɛfiri hɔ sɛ obi di bɔne a ɔma kwae sɛ yɛmfa nipa kɔ no kɔgyina court na Ghana mfoɔ nyinaa dwene no ho sɛ ɛna deɛ sɛ wodi bɔne a yɛmfa nkyɛw de meka wote ase ebi no
ebi ni sɛ Joseph why na ebia ɔmo ahwehwɛ allegation yɛde to no so a yaka sɛ allegation na yɛde to no so no wadi ska a ɛwɔ sɛ yɛ prosecute na yɛm prosecute no
na Charles Bisu no case no nyinaa ya prosecute obi
oh ya investigate aka sɛ ɔmo yɛ culpable
yes
why the kind
no one can share yanka
oh
ya kan nyinaa
Sraji say Charles Bisu yɛm prosecute no
no sika komo yɛ nyina obi yɛ ni tua from what
no kaza you are a lawyer that's what Max said are there findings indict obi a was a prosecutor na obi si on prosecutor no
so
is there a specific fact be a investigation
yes
I say or a culpable was a prosecutor I am prosecutor
no mama example say Charles Bisu case ko hwem pious enam hadede report by away
report from where
report from that
say you go prosecute no
yes you prosecute no
Sraji say you go prosecute no
committee president said
and almost you prosecute
no one you prosecute no me bisa
hey enye una o can say Sraji say you go prosecute obi no
is it not that post
no but maintain say Sraji me nim ni say Charles Bisu dia wo kan a special office of the special prosecutor.
So what did the special prosecutor say?
No, when are the findings in it?
No,
nobody did because me as far as I know, me himself matter a war office of the special prosecutor. Me not aware of any adverse finding from the office of the special prosecutor say young co-prosecutor.
So when you aware the Anna make us away.
Oh, seriously?
And you can find out. Pious. The case the whole obi enim Professor Frimpong Boateng case ya report oh yeah he was caught on tape one more discuss party for here sika very say central regional chairman what say
no but lawyer look me per se because who a lawyer until me no as a lawyer so Frimpong Boateng e can say who to as a lawyer why you be does it conclusively say why
so a president ya or winning lesson on campaign say over fight corruption no bibia hu here so we can say once ana me catch the president interested in fighting corruption on one point is issues so abeba no yes so mo be catch say yen subject to mutu
former president Mahama wadi Ghana president dawo there were investigative idea or set up. So our results.
So are you saying is compare?
I'm not going to draw attention.
We are in this regime. Former president,
no, but the wedding president though, so need be there, no different. But wedding be there now, so there were committees and commissions investigations. They almost findings by you.
Na crime. Our limitation.
Okay.
If you what this say, it's been 8 years, almost 8 years now. So former appointee. So I'm saying So who can reset in the sure say the policies and the good governance na dey to come na magana for nya mindset for say after the yin nko see anya say obi anya makọ no agensem
eno economy is about economy.
No, so we some say reset me cut title no.
Okay.
The title of our ayina me show.
No, because your by former President Mahama or say ade bia any economy na useless if you ask.
No, say me ba ho.
Okay.
Wait a minute, the thematic you of you know.
Okay, yeah.
Chapter 1. Also resetting the economy.
Lawyer hate you because anytime sir
and creating prosperity for all near chapter 1. When I was say your physical and death sustainability no. O je nema be gu kwa mu a o man no sika ye say no any sika basa waste akọ system no mu a amaga na ye ho chia ma fu bisa say na o ko first ka no hin. O si obekati waste.
Okay.
Ama oso krono bo ano ne ye ne ho no asem ne ho.
Okay.
Oko chapter 2 no a oso jobs for all. Ehona yama 10 policies.
Okay.
It be creative jobs.
Okay.
The way the MST say mama and run it through.
No problem.
Very important.
No problem.
I'm for say the 24-hour economy no. Eno kwa ne year and this wo. Enya no kwa. Yaka the 24-hour economy. 2. Yaka the Women's Development Bank.
Okay.
3. Yaka the National Apprenticeship Program. Yeah be yes youth no. Obi a person osu eduma bi a opebia no. O mampani and this aba no ebe boa so wasena mo osua. O maybe betem wo nyina ye wo mo sua eduma no bi o mo master for e be fa o. Uwie so ani asa so wasena mo set up. 4. If you be eduma rural program. You know, you see, identify business people by 10,000. You monitor them.
Okay.
You support to say, "Baby, ano." You man bet my flourish. No more so abwa afa amam funibi. 5. You see, digital jobs initiative. And I when you can use 1 million youth for year. Say any people we are the episode of the moment campaign. Number 6. You see, agriculture for jobs.
Okay.
When you say this, buy this agriculture there. And you buy any more paper to come in. You say, "Buying fertilizer and modern agriculture in the 7. You see rapid industrialization for jobs. Industry no you can ya people be kan your man yen. You buy ni na polugun de wu ni na e sabe peje mo na industries atete agum sira manfo ni yen. You call 8 the big push. O ka say na wo the 2020 manifesto no. You see you be invest about $10 billion. Na you the ewura construction, agro processing, all those areas. The more no aye no na e create jobs. This is the infrastructure there. 9. You see public sector recruitment so no. You be enhance no.
Okay.
And you catch the next for
now who enhance and you upgrade reset. Who enhance I say upgrade and
Papa no there.
Papa no there upgrade.
Na nyema bone no ase no there.
Reset.
So we be papa to say you buy ya you say polytechnics you upgrade to call university level tertiary no ni answer no say na you can.
Okay.
Colleges of education
okay.
You say yes automatic recruitment. Uwe nurse no na ya oba uwe ya e be fa. Allowance no so ba be ni.
Okay.
Number 10 you say the Ghana Green Jobs Initiative. Ni gan. You ba be create enuma hodo the solar energy honum plastic recycling. Sani ma we na you ba be etimi create enuma. Nti won so no ye be ye. Oni gan. Me catch us NDC e won yema papa. E mai na the 3rd paragraph chapter no you see Ghana's framework for industrialization, revitalization, support and transformation. Hana trade in industry sem no nyina no ehye na oko chapter 4 you see powering growth through infrastructure development. Yeah, and this you believe say we person initiative policy bia this will lead infrastructure and until na free SHS no na a good idea o ananke yi ni yesi beto to niam ni na be yi no o mama kwaye am be ka bo mu because of election adwene say yen hyase ne yen sa na ya implementation is so bad no ye ba ye sabe to aso na infrastructure energy sector ba bia communication ya bia niam mu na o manfo anyeduma ye paragraph chapter 5 you see investing in people for inclusive growth. Hano ye emphasize social democracy. Say social democracy. Emphasize equitable inclusive participation in all aspects. Skills learning, education, ho nyama ni nyina ye ba be ni. Women issues ni gender ina. Oba chapter 6 ya. He said restoring good governance and combating corruption. Adeɛ baako a ɛdi enya ɛyɛ corruption. Yɛn nyinaa yɛnim sɛ president Mahama time ɔde nɛɛsi fam ɔno ara ne appointees wotumi ma akɔ sɛ yɛni wɔn asɛm na sɛ ɛdeɛ mmara ne bɛto no ɛnfa nto okae obi koraa mention sɛ daakye mi nya $1 million mpo a nkamegya adwuma ɔsɛ kofi kɔtena ase wɔn nyinaa wɔnim ne nyinaa ɛna the last one no yɛ chapter 7 in the NDC manifesto wɔsɛ deepening international relations yɛne amaama ahodoɔ soso no nkutahodie nyinaa yɛbɛhwɛ sɛ NDC deɛ ɛsɛ sɛ yɛyɛ ma equity yɛbɛnya sɛ yɛ sovereignty no yɛbɛ protect trade and industry ne ama ahodoɔ so nkutahodie fadwadie ne yɛn manfo ban ho bambɔ nyinaa no yɛn nso yɛbɛyɛ. Indeed, these are the 7 chapters here ɛwɔ the NDC constitution no.
Okay.
Na ɔno sɛ
manifesto no.
Yɛ manifesto no. Na ɔno ɔnim sɛ yɛntumi nka 24-hour economy deɛ yɛntumi mfa emphasis no nkɔ. Nti mɛsɛ nanka ɔma mkwa nanka.
And yɛnkɔ 5 minutes. Your time no.
24-hour economy nkɔ deɛ. Mameta na memfa nwuram.
Let me give you 5 minutes here.
Very well. Ɔno gya asɛm a yɛka no de duo nyinaa no. Ne tietia no sɛ ɛyɛ policy bi a ɛba na abɛbie nnwuma ma mfomfo nyɛ bi ayɛ yɛsɛ formula 133 kyɛ sɛ adwuma baako nnipa mmiɛnsa na bɛyɛ.
Okay.
Na afei yɛsa create 3 shifts 8 hours each. Na ne botaeɛ ne sɛ 1 ɛbɛma nnwuma bebree aba because adwuma baako nnipa mmiɛnsa bɛtumi ayɛ deɛ a ɛbɛsa enhance productivity because yɛn nyinaa nim sɛ yɛ time no yɛde yɛ adwuma no ɛmoa yɛn ɛtɔ bi am no nyinaa ɛbɛnya anka anwummerɛ koraa na nka yɛkɔyɛ biribi a ɛsɛ sɛ yɛbato bɛkɔ na obiara yɛ na the key sectors no ɛyɛ the agro processing sɛ yɛbɛtɛn raw materials in the agric no ne yɛde akɔ the final products, manufacturing industries, pharmaceuticals, construction, financial services wɔn nyinaa wɔtumi yɛ adwuma na adwuma bɛyɛ afei the extractive industry, sanitation and waste management and I do bones of man for the same run here cleaning at the better cruma retail centers, hospitality, and transportation services. If you because a bit more my order by him say the attention and more zooming in the now Omampania can say Sa for no to me abedi mo hobeshe sa eye private sector mo to mo hobeshe sa de medium no benefits am benya no edoso yidi ka no mo ho bambo no ye ben hand security in him say for example ye adwuma ohia say bambo no be cost ni na no through the security services no ye be ma bambo na kese am obi ye adwuma onso afei tax incentives obi a wodo ho hobeshe sa adwuma mu no Omampania on say ye be ma special incentive or tax system ho say be ya o ho be how won otimi afa nipa do no a afei ye be ma financial support through the Exim Bank na mo ambo ye ne sika kakra apiamo a e ho hye no enya de bi a edin na small scale industries no ne medium ayi na mo nyina mbaba bi na no be mo kwan na mo so mo de ho abahye na atimi abie adwuma no so hin dan obi obeka say 24-hour economy any game changer bi na obo
okay
because sejuma ba ko ni pa mi nsa na ebeye na senka me no ye wie sisi anu pa fra beto no mo ye adwuma me gidi se obi ene ho a mpe elsewhere ni nyina no ma ye ane atimi ama o ma no apagya ini se guso ye de ye da bia no saa 8 hours na ene die gina ba bia gina ini se obi design say aba a well thought through policy say aba we say ko say the policies e say ina yeso mu na etimi bo ama ne baso ndi NDC manifesto no enema wo pa obia ono a wo pese wo ye no wo ko website bia wo google obenya NDC manifesto no na wo hunema wo mu ba me giri se Ghana for je to mu a enei wo busa so bin kan bibi manifesto mu asema ko so ko hon kai because yahuta mo ye NDC ye no a no man na mo aso so nti bibia ekoso
okay Lawyer Safo Doku is a private legal practitioner, former NDC parliamentary candidate for Efija East. Yes, and he is a deputy NDC Director Legal, okay, in Ashanti region. And I will lay out NDC for policies and programs. Or the campaign for votes come December 7 2020 4 for the general election. Okay, so Entebiana our quit and discharge lawyer na lawyer before I will call this statement I call round say former president Mahama did at time say stupid no no chire mu be na wo or kan ampa say obi a stupid
Oni obi atem.
The buy.
A quotation, direct quotation from former President Bill Clinton team.
Okay.
Say Abra na Clinton ever by president say 92 no. Na the Republicans also other issues. Na Clinton no economy say American for nyina economy. Inti dia de mo keka nyina munya keka stupid.
Okay.
And na oko to Clinton say and over Ghana has wa. Ghana for nyina economy. Enti mo bia keka 50 questions economy no ubia ne fro. It is over kai said here that time no Clinton for go for the kai. Enti no bia no ogina tem.
Okay.
O wampani oyobia na ne afi. Sabi na adwene mo edo. Adwene mo da hopa oni do
We could have avoided stay say let me repeat or let me quote.
No, but say
let me repeat.
He could
have
to say
like obey to me I avoid they say uncle fast idea we are I bet that was say group for
no, but he mentioned say asema Clinton team kan yeni enti you just asema obi aka no refer
say relevant and to Ghana
o say campaign
enti no so we say 50 questions when it is not about economy it's about the economy stupid. Don't you think some people say a beer the level nanka you could have avoided that?
Oh, that be stupid here okay no we do obi atem the issue no address.
Okay, lawyer, thank you very much. I think sir we've done 51 minutes. Yes, I say 51st minute man. My memory say a messages kakrabi abana question be or so that very soon we can acquit and discharge you. We go for the second segment. Okay, so punch and I will share in your embrace Abri or Kessben. Let me see if there are a few questions for you here. Please don't start this thing again. Oh. This thing I don't want to see it cry. What is this? Okay. Okay, so this one says, lawyer, good evening. I mean, Embra crying and just simple. It says, okay. Lord, good evening to you. Is the NDC man abreast with current trends? It seems, okay, this, okay, Ofori, Bawo, I always say on my program, I mean, contribute, though, if you attack my panel, I won't read it. Good evening to you, lawyer Azuma from Abu Abu. Why is MPP and Baumia so want to hold on to power? The PDS scandal alone can make MPP lose power. Vote JM. Okay. It says, election is about Ghana. MPP has destroyed our business, he says. Okay. Now, this one says, lawyer, thank you. Educative program. I cannot afford it. Lawyer, keep it up. It is possible for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Honorable George will say, Asumani sends us this message. So this one says, Ohene asks Bawumia for me, is debates we used to govern the country, Oga Malik. Ask me this question, Oga. Okay. Oga. Pato Kintampo. Agenda Bawumia Mazowin says John Dramani Mahama can never be trusted. Even only his administration common chalk couldn't be provided in our basic schools, and he isn't a kind of leader we need now. He may be focused on his campaign message and stop insulting Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Vote for Bawumia, he says, to protect our children. Now this one says, okay, Lawyer Safu Duku is too good to join the NDC.
Sure.
No wonder he has become champion crusader of selective submissions. To reset is to go back to ground zero. This reset becomes operational under constitutional coup d'etat. Ghana needs an upgrade, which is to improve, but not NDC, Mahama, Nebulous, and Nefero's reset. Kusi, K Kusi, Ejoso Besiase sends us this message. Okay. Is it free? Okay. Now this one's what's this thing for? Okay, so this one says, Honorable Chief Soso Future MP for Mina says, Papa Lawyer, good evening to you. Indeed, the Supreme Court judges have spoken in a plain language, so we sincerely urge the Speaker of Parliament and our parliamentarians to consider a recall to continue government business in the House. Dr. Baumia is the people's choice for Ghanaians. Okay, he says, thank you for your message. Now, this one says, Lawyer, may I ask, is it true that ex-president is a communicator, well communicator turned into polite insults or politics of insult? Mr. Collins sends us this message. This one says, NDC as a whole wants the country to ground to a halt, and is the Speaker happy suspending parliamentary business proceedings until further notice? Think their salary be withheld till January, and then by Finance Minister Ray sends us this message. Now this one says, good evening, sir. My name is Jibrin JD. Or the Papa, okay, Papa, he says, okay, so too soon, our time is up. We have to run away, but plenty messages, unfortunately. I am Andrews Boateng, Penteng near Kodie. Mr. Okay, he says, don't you think the questions asked by Dr. Baumia is being used to answer former president? If he is asked how many factories did he build, this is trying to tell him that money has been used purposefully. Okay, that is the angle that is coming from. Good evening to you, Papa Lawyer. Tell Lawyer Safu Duku, who is a former PR for Ashanti Gold, that Mahama's campaign is full of insults, lies, and deceit. Mahama can never be president again. Tell the lawyer to stop telling. Okay, this government have employed a lot of public sector workers than Mahama, who told us that he is not magician to create jobs since 1992. It's only NDC members who have been jailed because of corruption. Tell him that NDC should go and bring Sedinam Tamakuro, who stole money that belonged to the market woman. Okay, this Bright from Takwa is a charity. The lawyer is oh, okay. So this one says, good evening to you, lawyer. Honorable Right Speaker of Parliament Babin should understand that just as the Constitution defines his position as the Speaker, so it does in the case of Supreme Court. So he should respect it and stop exerting too much authority. He's taking the case too personal. Nana Yao, I am free, sends us this message. Lawyer, 1 minute. Let's go. Time is up. 1 minute.
You better know more. Me and BB number how. BB for Omaba. It me ba for NDC.
Okay.
You open and come out. Things are used to any day. Yeah, but you better say NDC campaign any focus.
Okay.
BB point to.
Okay.
And NDC victory. You know me say. Ubia strategy one for Biano is you ready for them. I know it's the 7th December. Ghana for my opportunity to reset. Because I reset and I say I could start every baby.
Okay.
The mindset, Nipa na dwene na. I could discipline in your say no ye be ye say. Omodo magni be koso afedi say na Ghana na ye kono.
Okay.
Na ye kwe no. Nipa ni biti program na pa o. Tutor bi wo Prince of Peace Girls SHS.
Okay.
Friend Mr. Pierre Joseph.
Okay.
G-Man.
G-Man, okay.
Okay,
G-Man, good evening to you. So, lawyer, well, thank you very much for your time. I think, sir, from now to 7th of January, we'll have more opportunity to have encounters like this for the interest of Ghana. You are hereby acquitted and discharged. Okay, so yene lawyer Safoduku enetwe enkomo sha CBC Sabre mo messages no ba na eba sa ze yene Kofi Tonto beto so Embribama will continue to read your messages. Okay, this one says good evening to you, lawyer Azuma Abuabo. Why is some people and Bamia, why do they still want to hold on to power? Okay, I've read this one. Good evening to you, lawyer. Please ask the NDC man why former President Mahama didn't do. Okay, I don't know. Cry article. Bragovi. Omar can on. Mwakwaba. Oya Brantio. That's any na na campaign Bokodia. Okay. Okay.
So we share your share campaign as you know. The various regions you know you call but you call at the regional level. And you call the capitals of the region. And Sunday we call back this time at the constituency level.
Okay.
The 276 constituencies, including South. So far, you call 15 regions. We Yamea Duma China Ahafo region.
Okay.
Na it me we have region na the aka uti eka mi ensa bi a yentimi anwie. Eba the northern part of Ghana na kabe se mi ensa se nine.
Okay.
Tamale Central, Tolon, Saboba, and another one. And then Eastern region, so I can't nine yentimi such a Afran Plains. 2 Afran Plains now Eastern region. And sana the New Jaben constituencies Koforidia Hono non so intimi and Greater Accra so aka 3 constituencies are
okay
intimi nti yi and only free mu na itimi wie echina na at least 215 there na ya and sana nyame ya adomo a Joada Bosumi November Bosumi ne de toso and 9 no yes ya de Asante Mantem so ahhehye so
okay
ye bewo Asante Mantem for na otwemi no
hey
from the 4th to the 18th
okay
ye be Asante Mantem all the 47 constituencies ni nyina no ye beko ti etimi wie no a na relatively no at least 260 or so 65 na yetimi akona akakakra na ebe ya aka ho na ese yede bibia ba na wiye.
Okay, so Sadia Medikai Ekai no Enumbre, our special guest who is a political aide to the Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, who is also the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, and then no atwetwe komo enwumre Kofi Tonto is his name. Made them know all the way from Washington DC.
Yes.
That time I special aid to the
so that time
US ambassador.
Let me a head of information.
Head of information.
And then senior advisor to the ambassador.
Ambassador.
Papa Bakope. Dr. Ajibewa, fantastic man.
Fantastic person, yeah.
Of all standards. Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So straight up, just Andrew monitor Supreme Court.
To be honest, sir, I deal with to be honest with you, and you be a met me
a follow
okay. Because of a Jumai up and down. I didn't, I'm just a bit crabby na my follow. But Supreme Court at the end of the day, I mean, no credibility from any. But lawyer, why a lawyer idea? Maybe some question. Maybe I also be to me educate me kakra.
Okay.
Question I'm a person me busa and say. It's majority na NDC for share parliament. A dear faso dear pa na debe bregana for.
So we the legal question.
Oh. Sir, oh dear, more a lawyer for the mono, even if it's not a legal question, the societal benefits there. Some of Juma Muye, ultimately. I'm trying to
be honest with you, no, I have maintained, say, I personally think, say, na ehun here say speaker, ebekwa akoye sa the ruling na oye. I'm saying this because speaker at the time okoye sa ruling no. Na onim say Article 97 1G and H1 okoye no.
Yeah.
The application no enye simple send their offer because honestly also would declare all the scenarios say free A na ba be C before bedru G and H no. Eka situations where a see a nipa physically no only parliament. Until the seat no ye vacant. So you only announce.
Yeah.
Obi who are say well,
yeah.
Obi so are resign or could he know so to quiet so call you only or physically. Obi be our koya de be caught a dinner assem ya convicted. Physically the person is not there.
Yeah.
So be cross carpetia, the person moves from this side
to the other side.
The person physically is not here. On this occasion, all the 4 members of parliament are here. They physically they are sitting there on their seats.
Yeah.
What they are not on chair. Where there's a vacancy, no ordinary, no, the electoral commission will be informed and they will conduct a by-election.
Yeah.
But Article 1126 of the Constitution, no, I can't have 3 months to elections, you know, who declare a seat be vacant. The law is that the electoral commission ain't to me by-election be a ewo. So
what is the point?
Maybe that's my point.
That's
so why
point.
I said
and the other question is
the
other question is can Ghana for na to to elect a representative to kind 97G now I can say something about at the time of elections so okay there was that caveat there at the time of elections. So the question is, time I will make it that declaration. There is no elections going on.
I hope that now that issue is the Supreme Court to cease with the interpretation of 97 1G and H. You know, we'll leave it like that.
To them, okay.
Speaker now, I may personally have said so. No one
there's no need for me unwarranted. There's no need for all of these things. I don't think I'm a person. Nanka me bantam me maubusa me nuya watna ha say. There must be a purpose which Ghanaians must benefit. And the decision now, Speaker A taking on. What is the beneficial value in it for a Ghanaian, the voter? There is none.
Let's leave it to Supreme Court now because they made they were clear on their decision in respect to all the questions Speaker raised here, man, the lawyer, the common body, so now,
Tadio, sorry.
Yes, I can't
substantive. They also urge 300,000.
I can't substantive matter. They say Supreme Court be na why interpretation no I mean that is how we build a nation. Constitution no a living document. The interpretation from time to time no and a man more way man dynamic a movie with time. And when we have the opportunity say Supreme Court any interpretation let the Supreme Court interpret that provision in the Constitution so that moving forward we are good to go. Now, Yambra, I 5 questions from former President Mahama. And then I echo elicit 50 questions. Oh, more the 5 echo 50.
Yes, if I get to first of all, I think some by Manchia, a tea for near her for. Now, Kessben will show a number quite cheap because a man for a Juma Baumaya, the moment when I say, or more they call bed to be or dampem, or de Jin and Niana, a jar. In Tinko 40 pounds. My mean tea one more. Manchia one, number myself, Mumbra, would say. The attorney say, the first question I see a busan when I say, a number auto and suffering, some member of Fidi Cassis, na in Ninkomo. But your 2 hour tones are framing. Seminim dear in Rube Bia Ususu say, Meet me actually madrin won coma ye be di one. Carber tones are framing.
Not at all.
Come on, tones are framing. Because respectfully, no means same fata. Yes, I'm here. You but mean same fata for this platform. Yera John Dramani Mahama nano best na ochumi enuni. Eno kachre say Yera Baumian same fata. So ono no kra be yi. Into ono John Dramani Mahama de on fan ho kra mafom na Baumian na benya anu yi. Cause Baumian ben bebia. Enti kosana edika yesi nyina yebusa ho se obi a wonsem fata no ben wono yebusa na question. That is the first question I say obi yebusa no ho. Se nipa no na adwene mu no onsem fata on ben wo ontimi no kra ntena table ba koso yebusa no question. It tells you say Yera John Dramani Mahama ninsem kekane ni niye bi wo ho a sebe manu da sumina so ento asomu etosumi no obusa nsemfu anum na obusa de di kan no eye cedi ene dollar ayonkofa ena ansa na obusa the cedi dollar relationship. Patro, so bet me me the 5 questions now. I escape me kakra. The first question was CD ni dollar.
Questions any good screen.
And Argentina, Ghana, your debt no edru baby edru.
Yeah.
Argentina inflation. Or say why did the inflation rise to its highest in the 4th Republic? And umpono enyano kre. 54% is not the highest in the 4th Republic. And then Ghana Web, the story buyer, historically, no, Oma prove say 54% is not the highest. But no crowd the infant chain. And then why did you borrow from Bank of Ghana? And then why have you run away from the economy and talking about digitalization? Minya cosign enum we nyina no. Yera Mahmoud Baumia we yano. Obia we ye nokwafo. A obedi nokre ewo ya manyo semu ebeka kire say sa questions means enum he nyina no Yera Mahmoud Baumia yi ano na mekai o eya ogefo bosome ne de tosonson February 7th a Yera Mahmoud Baumia did an inaugural speech ebaye no he spoke for 2 hours speech no na wo akwa enan akwa edikan ye say party fo akoyi no so meye kandinima party no akwa etoso mienu ye adwuma aban no aye ene wo hawo aban no ekomu akwa etoso miensa eye emmoa wo de boa aban na adwuma ena de etoso nan ye ɔno Bawumia na ni so ade ho na akwaya toso mienu a ɔka aban adwuma a wayɛ ɛne wɔ hawo a yakɔmu no ɛhɔ odi sankomo we odi dollar ne cedi ho nkomo odi ɛyɛ yɛbosia bɔ a yɛabɔ ho nkomo odi inflation ho nkomo ɛne saa nneɛma we nyinaa ɔka ho asɛm ɛka Bank of Ghana ho asɛm ɛwɔ hɔ in fact ɔka si so sɛ Bank of Ghana adwuma a wɔyɛɛ no emra ne yɛduru mu no na ho hia sɛ Bank of Ghana so ɔman n'asene ɛtɔ so num sɛ digitalization ɛno mpo deɛ ɔsɛe mmerɛ paa wɔ ho ɛkyerɛkyerɛ mu nneɛma a wayɛ a wɔde aboa wɔfa abɛɛfo nimdeɛ kwan so na yɛyɛ a ɛboa yɛn daadaa setena ɛboa ma yɛn sikasɛm yɛde fapem bi a ɛho hia brɔfo yɛ say for us to be able to leapfrog from the first industrial revolution to the fourth industrial revolution enti ɔto ne bu kyerɛkyerɛ mu deɛ di kan no deɛ tɔso mienu a kosan we nyina obu sɛ ɔansan yɛ ɛyɛ the media encounter obekaya journalist baako busa ne sɛ o see when the fundamentals are weak the exchange rate will expose you or ansan yɛ anameboa or ansan yɛ Ghana bosia yabo ane baby a yedru or ansan yɛ on hardship high mainly driven by inflation or ansan yɛ ansan na ɛhɔ nso mekai sɛ obi busa ne sɛ yɛse wadwane afiri economy ho eco digitalizing that question put there he spent about 10 minutes or 15 minutes answering that question on move why people think he's moved from digitalization to economy the atoso miensa emra yekoye manifesto launch ewo takrade ehon nso yewra Mahmoud Bawumia say yi kosan we nyina no enti say yewra John Dramani Mahama eye obi a will pay attention to details oye obi a will pay attention to the politics that we are doing now. He wouldn't have asked these questions. Now you can argue say answers now what they are not satisfactory. That's fine. That is your own cup of tea. But to suggest that these questions have not been answered is a mark of dishonesty. Onye no kwafo. So I am what say up to now, even our journalists have not reminded Ira John Dramani Mahama say, Mr. Mahama, these questions have been answered already.
Okay.
So that is the second response Medebe Mao.
Okay.
The third response Medebe Mao and they say, what busa questions? Enipa no so onsem fata. And enipa no say, me or questions. Answer questions in the mamia. Now if you are too near to me, sebe mpanyinfo a mutie enenumre. Me ye sukonoma enene mabetena na me kire madwe. Se me nua ye di nkomo yi na bi a wo ka bibi. Na me didi watama. Me nyinni se panyi bia na abofra bia wotie enumre obebu me da. If you say kabi mamen kabi no eye adwento atoa. A stage for us to share ideas. It's here then na obi a wabeyo mampanyi da. Na wo se sre Ghana fo se yenya o mampanyi. Na nka wo de ese wo yesusu dua ma mabunu. Ese wo yesusu dua ma ye nyina se oman no ese agisi ho ne ebeje oman na si ho a yenkyere ya dwene ewo nokura mu anidie mu. Na opanyi te se wotimi bie wano sebe ese obi oye o mampanyi abedi akire se wo yejimifo.
Wakasa.
Pacho, una ye lawyer. You can't say stupid as such as.
Oh, okay. So the context now Okano no say referring to former president of US Clinton campaign. Now Okase what can I say was about the economy, stupid, no. And a bad idea. Or no, or yeah, we know, would you construe say a direct insult?
Okay,
analogy.
Like our vice president has just learned those things in the 50 questions, the way we used to learn Baba, Black Sheep, Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Because I asked you 5 simple questions on the economy. That's all. Simple questions that Ghanaians want you to answer. You go and respond with how many compost plants did you build, how many this did you build. That is not what the issue is in Ghana today. Let me take you down memory lane. In 1992, there was an election in America. It was between Bill Clinton and George Bush Sr. At that time, the American economy was in recession, the way the Ghanaian economy is in crisis today. And people were talking about immigration, talking about all kinds of useless things. You know what the Clinton people said? It is about the economy, stupid. Today, I'm repeating those words. This election is about the economy, stupid. It's not about all those other useless things about who built how many compost plants. Answer the 5 simple questions.
Okay. Or refer to the actions of somebody. And I will say, sa nipa na o take actions no, stupid. President Clinton as someone can was say one more na or more criticize President Clinton and President Clinton catch them say enye we you na we ejimi foi. And na all catch Yera Mahmoud Bawumia say enye ensemu a wo keka no na economy sebe Jimmy foi. This is a person who wants to lead this country. And don't forget, say, this is not the first time John Mahama used to stupid Nisilio. What can be actually Martin Amidu? Say Martin Amidu behavior is stupidity. So this is a person now no was saying call for can in some social media now they are making stupid comments. It is hard time and penny for one man to John Dramani Mahama for. Say he ought to be responsible as a leader. Yankasasa. And look, John Mahama, Ghana nyawo diao. On my way, and nyawo dia. Yantrawo, yamam remu bebia say you have to be a president again. If you don't know, let me tell you. There is nowhere in our constitution that insists to say NDC in winning the next election. After all, lawyer Aden, or maybe Antinamuna, more NDC for Mudi or Maiso from 1980 something ABC 2001 President Kufuor by 19 years straight. 19 years and Mudi or Maiso. Why are you behaving, say? And now you walk a bimamin kabia and Mrane say Ghana for reserve the right to say a better Obama a nipa mufi say obedu omoso. So Ghana for say a better Obama asumesi and now bentin amene diomane so for 20 years a particular party for 20 years. And you Ghana for right. And I'm a boy. And yes, I'm a constitution actually.
Of course.
So where from this behavior say because when they tell me or say the MPP should understand, say, we are winning the election. No. Nobody will understand anything. If there is anything to understand, and can't twaba, and nothing a year post, no say, the people of this republic must decide. Ghana doesn't belong to you, John Mahama. You have been an assemblyman, you have been an MP, you have been a deputy minister, you have been a minister, you have been a vice president, you have been a president. What have you done for this nation? Dear no why? Dear na who yet me as a son of my way.
Okay,
So somebody ought to tell him.
Okay. Now, about 9:24, Yane Kofi Tonto is a special political aid to Dr. Alhaj Mahmoud Bawumia, who is the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, and Chuchim Komo Enyumire in an exclusive interview. Now, Kofi, November, ABCA, so there were Kamoko rounds in the way. Ghana for and summer. Or person what say our the various studio at their twaba and my His Excellency the Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and some potty bempa and a campaign message I'm the air call.
Yeah, me me da se bebre. Ye nam see enim say oman no ansa na obeye omampanyin no. Chi se ukruchire wonsem gu nkrata so. Na oni Ghana fo adi nkomo akire omu di nti a wo se fata se ye to so aba no nti ye document ya to ni din say selfless leadership, bold solutions for jobs and businesses. Se okokin kan ogefo bosome ne de to sonson anhoba yura Mahmoud Bawumia bo Ghana fo a okan semfo amienu bi wom o say Ghana ya mamra ye 1992 constitution. Ebra na ye twro sa mamra no. Ye twro ye se ye de hye ye democracy no ana ye nka bi mami nka bi no ye de hye mu kena. Efri se na ye free aban tutu ahoro na ya ba bedru ba bi ana ye dru no. Enti ne pese ye gi ye democracy no esi ho. Enti de ye twro ye nyina no, it was to entrench our democracy. We promulgated our 1992 constitution to entrench our democracy. But on only free say enei yen kabi mami kabi ne baby a yedru no ye betimi aka say agina brane ese e bo ho ban de nanso largely you can argue say we have come far when it comes to democracy. Enti afe yen dane ana yen sankra ya mamra ni mu na afe enhwe baby a di yedie ebe Ghana for. Let's look at our constitution and restructure our constitution so that it can focus more on wealth creation and success for the people of this country. Etosumienu or say yewra President Kufuor and yewra Ekufuado MPP aban mienu a yenya ewo Fourth Republic yi. Omadwuma din a omo ye no ade ba ko pa di mu tintiman eye de friend social intervention program. Social intervention program ya ade a udi gu akwan mu se ne be ya oni biefo wonso betimi apagya omo ama omaduru ba bia omo ankasa betimi ayeden aboa omo ho. Enti maame na anka wontimi mfa ne banko school no boa no na ne ba ne nko school enru pempenso a ono nso betimi de akopa adwuma aye bibi buano no nyansa no nyuma bi a obetimi de abɔ no bra na ne nsa heden akɔna no ɛno ne yɛfrɛ no social intervention. Enti sɛ wohwɛ aban mienu we a ɔma yɛ nneɛma bebree, from free maternal care, school feeding, free SHS, hwan na ɛyɛ social intervention programs. Deɛ yɛayɛ no yɛbɛbɔ ho ban. Nemom ɔno Mahamadu Bawumia deɛ obe shifting the focus no say bia what the new social intervention programs but obe focus more on protecting what is here and then shift his focus to wealth and business creation for the good people of this republic. It is our far manifesto ya ne fa pimpa gina kwan ben ye be fa so a ye be boa ma Ghana fo ono mu a omu ewo omu ankasa enwuma ene wono mo mo pa nnwuma ye ekwan be ne be fa so ebetimi aboa ma o matere mo nnwumam na afoforo nso anya bia ye na de yedie abre wo mo. Enti se wo fa ye nkrata ye a ye hye ana ye Ghana for anhoba edunan o say our commitment to you na 14 commitments. The edi kan o say sustain and expand Ghana's rebounding economy na eko how kakra mu no a enne adanside nyina kire se adane n'ani asi kwantempɔn tenene so no ɛkwan bɛn ne yɛbɛtumi agyina saa kwantempɔn ne so ne asɔ mu ne apagya mu deɛ ɛtɔ so mmienu kwan bɛn ne yɛbɛfa so abie nnwuma aboa ma nnwuma aba ɛtɔ so mmiɛnsa ɛkwan a yɛfa so gye yɛtoɔ no a yɛfrɛ no taxes no kwan bɛn ne yɛbɛtumi asankra mu fi sɛ nnɛ ɛkwan a yɛgyegye yɛtoɔ no yɛ ana ɛnhyɛ da mmoa yɛtoa so say build Ghana into a world-class digital economy, reduce the cost of living, provide better health care, expand public infrastructure, implement affirmative action for women and girls, expand educational opportunities for all, provide good governance, care for the elderly. In fact, for the first time, aban no make a commitment. Ye maame ne mo mpanyimfo ne ye papa no mpanyimfo ano ho ba sɛ ye de nhyehyɛye foforo ba be protect the elderly. Ye de policies ba ye be create group homes, nursing homes ye maame ne ye papa no mo asabi omo ho dodo omo ye be ma omo special care and special attention. Ye saa no enne ye nuanom o makoye nursing no enye sɛ kyenkyene a kyesa aban ko na ye den ɛfa omo ye bebie these special healthcare systems setup to say ye beboa ankrankre amoma bie these nursing homes and group homes etc. omo betimi afa ye nuanom omo ye nursing ne ade ansa na wose protect our environment eno ye di nkomo fa mining ne sa ne ma no ho kwan ben ye befa so a mining no ye betu na de mfaso de abanti ye say adeɛ baako pa edi enya a de galamsey no ama na tu atese ne sɛ mabunu a ɔmo pese ɔmo tu agudie ne binya so mfaso no adeɛ baako ha ɔmo pa ne sɛ ɔmo nim baabi agudie no wɔ enti brofo kasam yɛ sɛ they do trial and error sɛ mete sɛ Kessben asase ase na agudie wa sɛ yɛ nokre enye nokre na me de soso abɔ hɔ me de excavator ba na me betu hɔ ɔse saa adeɛ no yɛnyi mfiri hɔ na mmom yɛnhwɛ say ye sika be share geological survey mu geological service mu ye sika be share eye UMAT mu ye sika be share UNA mu na omo no abeye the reconnaissance process no prospecting ni bibia ma ye hu say aha na agudie no ye den ewo enti say agudie no wa ha ene ye che ne say boa ma Ghana fo mabunu enya bia ye eno ni anohoba a obo to protect our environment. And Sana boost sports, creative arts, and tourism, protect our borders, keeping our neighborhood safe, and all of that. But enumere mefa mienu pe because of time. Yeah. Mefa mienu. Mienu a mefa no ni nyina begina kwan ban na ebetimi afa so a ye beboa nnwuma na yetimi nso aboa ama ye bie nnwuma ama ye nuanom titiru mabunu enya biaye. De edikan me pese oji sa ote sa statistics we yenhwehwe mu a ya ye nyina kire se oman yi mu ufa nnwuma ahoro wo oman yi mu nyina na wa ha mu abupen aduokono miensa 93% of businesses and companies in this country no omu nyina follow under SMEs. It's a bodwa ni nnwuma nketenkete eni nnwuma omumu sheda anya akese no 93% of businesses in this country eye SMEs. Ye hwehwe mu ba kwa yesa ye ne say ye constitute labor force no te say wo a wote ha wo ye adwuma yi ene wono mo ye adwuma wa ha nyina no emu wo ha mu abupen aduowotwe miensa 83% ene ye adwuma ma bodwa ene adwuma nketenkete, meaning that for the labor force no 83% of them work for SMEs. And that means that what the nhyehyɛ bi ba ɛsɛ yɛ nhyehyɛ a ɛbɛbɔ SMEs ne den wɔn ho ban because ɛhɔ na adeɛ ne nyinaa yɛ den ɛwɔ ɛhɔ na adwuma a wopɛ sɛ ɔkreti ne nyinaa no ɛwɔ enti die na di kan a wo bɛyɛ ɛde aboa ma nnwuma nketenkete no ɔmatimi agyina brane yɛn hwehwɛ mu a yɛyɛ kyerɛ sɛ ɔhawa efesi SMEs ni nyinaa no baako a edi mu tintinman pa ɛha ɔmo kɛse ɛyɛ kwan a ɔmo fa so twia to taxation, the tax regime one of the most difficult challenges are yen nuanom a omo only businesses facing. Enti Yewura Mahmood Bawumia say ene mano ba kese a me pese me bo Ghana wonu mu a omo wo nnwuma a omo bia omo nnwuma kese ne say ekwan a ye fa sotua to no me ba be sankra mu. Enti yato ni din say implement wide-ranging tax reforms. Implement wide-ranging tax reforms. Minya neme no tie. Se uko registrar general se uko bie company. Wa bie company na wi a wa bie LLC no limited liability. Uko GRA ho se uko ye ho taxes documents ni ade a GRA beka kire se o company na wa bie no bunkompoko wanim bosumi bensia na bosumi nso ana afe ne susu se sa afe no sika sen na obenya ne tua hoto no bi ene migidi se sa asem nyam na me ka kire ofoforo wate eti adwuma ono wonya nya kapre wonya mfaso kapre kra no Ghana ban hye sa adwuma ne se emprempre ya no tuato mame Yewura Mahmood Bawumia se sa ne mani nyina no ye be yi afiri ho sesei no de pese ye ne se de dikan enipa bebre ni aban ewo watimi wakame bebre ewo sikasem ho eba taxes ho enti ye de bibi ba ye friend tax amnesty and I said tax forgiveness. I didn't inform us our decision. In our listening tour, one of the problems we came across and they said, there's a textile company be a wo akosumbo. Na omo be shia omo ni AGI for ne buy. Na ma me na no wo no wodi ye din komo no say, Mira, ye only a small mid-size textile company. Na de atia ne se yetwia yeto na no ye wo hwa na GRA ba ye se eto na yetwia fomfie be du no enfomso ba ho enti ye pese ye koyechi mfie du ne ekohwehwe mutuo mu kwan amufa so tua ye omuhwehwe mu nyina awie ye no GRA se modika ne ka GRA bo wo mu no se omu ton omadwuma ni nyina mpo a omuntimi ntua saka no minua sebe o ye lawyer asema making ubedi mi adanse se esi e wo man mu
many companies
ade esi eti sese no omu wo choices mi no ida se omu be close adwuma no na oma de aban ne ka forever omuntimi ntua ana se GRA no omu akose ne saka we na amode no muntua ne nkakra nye den eman eno mo se kana mo se yentua ne nkakra no kra no se yetua adwuma no yentimi ntirem anka ya ho odin beso ebia enipa be 200 for adwuma yi benam ade so amode abeso yensu ninti no enipa 200 chise ye mamu be wo ha ekofie ena Yewura Mahmood Bawumia se da bi saka no yemfanche Ghana nwumafo a ono mo only businesses a sa adeswa we esom na ye permutations no ye hunu se eka enkofo di GRA ka omuntime nje. That's the first point too. Sika no GRA kwa ntime nje because it's difficult to come and tell somebody say mako back 10 years for sika no mame sa kana mudi enkofo edemu 10 years 5 years 6 years muntime nje a mo ne mo aye manso no calculation ni nyina came about 3 billion Ghana cedis. Aba na Yewura Mahmood Bawumia say no. Sa 3 billion Ghana cedis na achichire nkofo nsa no. Ye de beche wo mo. Si ye de che wo mo a emfasodi a ye benya ne say sa adwuma na na nka obetimi afa 200 na se wo fa 100 no. Sika na nka bosome ode betua GRA ka no ode be bia adwuma no afa nipa 100 na ye den aka ho. Enipa na no otifia onya adwuma nya ne se obenya adwuma na ono nso atua tax adwuma no betimi aye adwuma no atua tax enti sa 3 billion na wu chesi a collapse businesses no. Let it go. Let businesses expand. Let them hire people, and then taxes no this time will come. To the first thing I hear, nyame adom na eswe ni ina is to declare a tax amnesty and forgive all bad loans for the GRA, bad debts for GDRA no fani nyina chomo yen kase woto a wutwa na eye legitimate no entua nya no ho asem na yeka
okay
yeka eto a woni GRA wo ho challenges akoye watimi wakame a wo mo pre so ho asem na yeye den yekan konkofo se na ese mejai eto twa na da bi enya no no
so that's the clarification.
No, that's not what we are saying.
Okay.
Say na woti hey now nim say obetua 2 cedis you know you have accepted say 2 cedis na say otua and there you have to pay.
Okay.
Ye ka de ya babu agu so a abeya ade so amawo a wo twe no na ye say ye declare no amnesty na abeya zero amount na watimi akonka ti yetimi ya no wi ade to so mienu ade ne ebeya sa ohaw ne nsibio
na nanka me ba hoyi
de nti a ema ohaw ne ba ne say ye wo bibia ye friend tax codes. Tax codes ne determine eto a obetua eye mra ya hyehya e kire se wo ye we a obetua sei wo ye we a we na se otua sa tax codes no ye besesem na de di kan pa ne se eto a aye hwanyan a ene ukota de a ye say VAT, NHIL, COVID, tax before profit, tax after profit, sustainability hwan sa ne mani nyina ye betwam na ya ye no flat tax enti Kessben adwuma kese ya mo ho yi se munim se bosumi ana na wotwe miensa bi every quarter bosumi miensa bi quarter bia no mo betua 5% eye 5% enti nya fe na GR Rebecca chro say yeah mo betua 5% but we ni de mo betua 1% we ni de mo di 2% no sa na mani nyina ye twam
okay
5% for individuals and for businesses ye ye net sent to so dudu no say 10% ay 10%. The etoso miensa duties are yetwia e wo port. Sa duties no. The ade o how ne bapa ne ye the dollar component no. Say ne yemfa ne say we fun we me ko cry free amano ne e de ba e ne beton. Fun we nka metimi aton no adwam ayi market so be say 10 cedis a menya memfa so anya bi atua fon ne ka menya ohaw bia na nam dollar no ayonko fa ne cedi no se de gidie nhye da anim ni nti no fon na nka metimi aton ne 10 cedis no meton ne 20 cedis because me nim se emra meton fon ne be wi a me kokra foforo no na e bia dollar na ho den no asa akosuru biu ti mehia sidi dodo na me sha akọ je dollar ketwa na enti a lot of businesses no the omoyen said they forecast into the future and assume that the dollar can go up. If the dollar can go up there, then a deal we are making the 10 cedis and me find 20 na dollar no go up, I will be protected as a business. A part of why inflation is shoot up in 2022 afeni fight ya bedru baby. Enti how do you solve that problem? Remove the dollar component from the duties. Enti nipa na okotua duty no. Give that person the assurance. Say okokra niema no now the bar. At least for the duty component in there, you don't have to worry. It is a 40-footer container and a okokra dia bar. 40-footer container no homogeneous items, meaning say at the crone woman no a dear baako ana ye niema ebenya say spare parts anwa margarine moa homogeneous items are then there is what we call a flat tax. Eti ye be hihye say 40-footer container for the next 1 year or 2 years no 40-footer container 10,000 cedis 10,000 cedis. Eti e bia ya ma a period of 1 year or 2 years 40-footer container 10,000 cedis 10,000 cedis. Yan kan kira say $5,000 but betua at the prevailing rate. Ye yi sa de no so ayeden efri ho.
Okay.
Etoso miensa. Sa duty na wo betua no. adeɛ baako a yɛhu ne sɛ nipa bebree nam sɛ yɛdeɛ no wɔ soro ne nti no ɔmo de fa kwati kwan kɔfa Togo because Togo do ɛdeɛ no wɔ fam Togo ɛnyɛ free port ɛyɛ na nkɔfoɔ ka sɛ ɛnyɛ free port nkɔfoɔ tua duty but ne boɔ no yɛ den ɛwɔ fam eti yɛse flat tax biara yɛbɛsɛte no ɛntimi mmoro Togo deɛ so ɛne Togo deɛ bɛyɛ pɛ anaasɛ yɛbɛbɔ mmɔden sɛ yɛdeɛ no bɛwɔ fam asene Togo na deɛ nti a yɛyɛ saa ne sɛ ɛnɛ nipa du ɛna nka ɛkɔ kra nneɛma aba emu num de afa kwati kwan so akɔfa Togo a sɛ utimi ma edu ni nyinaa de bɛfa Ghana ɛho hia sɛ num na akane na ɔmo de fa Ghana na wode kane nyinaa yɛ den egu ɔmo so wobɛtimi ate so na wacha ma nipa du ni nyinaa yɛ den atua ɛno ne yɛbɛyɛ emre nti menkɔ the second
Kofitonto ena ohye no enwumbre ewo Punch Jumadie so ewo Kessben television. He is a political aide to the presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, the flag bearer Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. They are on a campaign tour. Enwumbre also the vision, policies and programs of the New Patriotic Party seeking to elicit Ghanaians votes come December 7. They know and some ena ode tudwa enwumre. Ma wo messages no ba na eba. Me no call another one me ba na ma be kan mo messages no bi the amount. Honorable Charles Ajay o hweyen ewo brekum wo na abusuafo no nyina Mechia Musa so ena Christopher Honorable Christopher enso so o hweyen from Kutre ewo brekum mechia mu nyina enwumbre Kofi yenko the next one na opeso ye messages no ba
the next one me person me kan ye saa de we ya ka no yen research show say yetimi ye ne se ne ye ka na e de nnwuma ebeba another one e de nnwuma beba no de emfasodie ne yemie no de edi kan ye ebema meme no teacher ni a wo tie me doctor ni a wo tie me nurse a wo tie me aban adwuma ni a wo tie me ankrankra adwuma ni a wo tie me ebema na brabo mu ayemre e de ama no. There is no better person to actually discuss this thing than somebody like me. And now ye nuanu bia o matena bruchiri because I have lived it.
Credit scoring. I have lived it for 24 years, so I know. The atiane say, emre bi etwa mu wa America memu, sikasem mu ahoden ba fom. Na America ban pese ohwe kwan a obetimi asa pagya sikasem mu ani dwadie bio. O mampanyinfo bi ye hwehwemu, o mo ban no mo say o manyimu ye boye ho bosia dadade. Nanso kwan a ye fa so bobesia no yen sankra mu si etimi sankra kwan a ye fa so bobesia no mu a ebeboa ma enkofo apese omo beto niam bebre de aye omo ho enti brofo kasem ye say it will stimulate demand ebema nkofo ahwehwe akade ene ahonya a omo hwehwe wo mo dada asetena mu a enam se omo ni sika nti no omo santimi nya den enka enti let's create what we call a modern credit system. Some modern credit system no yamma no nsiachi baabi because adwuma bia wo beye wo wiase bia no se beye yi a ade baako a edi mu tintinman yo gidi a mo yesa adwuma no mu benya wo montem the friend said trust no but saa nkofo yin hwehwe mu omo ye ne se dabi trust na ye wo no yentimi nya no wo individual levels asa wo pese saa credit system we ye adwuma don't leave the trust at the individual level. Nemum, build that trust grounded on scientific analysis, on numerical analysis of a person's behavior. Enipa bia ni suno fansiachi baby a beye susu dua be ma wahu nipa no ni sikasem ho ahunidie titiriw ne bosian bo ho ahunidie enti enkoye lawyer ene Kofitonto ayonkofa
mugidie keke we die yafa abefo kwan so afa nkonta kwan so edi egu nsani ani ene ehunu se Kofi Tonto di ne huni anase onye den oni ne huni enti ye kase credit score de ekire wotwi kase mu ne se ankrankra bia no usika sem titiri wo bosia bo ho ahunidie enti credit score eye susu dua ye de ba be susu lawyer ni sika sem titiri ne bosia bo ho ahunidie enti lawyer si ebo ne besia otua na se ontua enya na damfo na ebe ka akire yen na susu dua we die obi antimi influence no obi antimi tamper with it it is as susu dua no na ebe kire e no mo de friend no credit score no ye den e bai ansa na wo betimi aye credit score no ye wo niam bi a eyese wo man mu eniema no baako ene se obia owo man mu bia benya ahyensode a eye ahyensode sonko ye friend say unique identity it is ye fa lawyer enya lawyer din ye dinim no nemom ni unique identity ye ne Ghana card number ye wo ne Ghana card and unique features woso no eno ne ebe kire se we die ye lawyer enya se ni din de lawyer nti no ye lawyer me pacho what you say aban mu no your identity is entrenched by the uniqueness of your identity enti eyadia ni ehia eno ne betimi ame ya yesade nyame ya adom yetimi ya yesade no ene Ghana mpanyimfo a omaso mfie of adult age no 85% of them have their unique identity. 18 million Ghanaian adult population have their unique identity. Now ye Ramamud Baumia tro ho mebi. Ehuma no mesre se afidie fo edi beto so. Okay ehuma na o say monetary policy and financial sector reform in Africa.
Okay.
Monetary policy and financial sector reform in Africa. Ghana's experience. Mahamadou Baumia. Se okinkan enhuma na eye book no me pacho lawyer hu afi be na etwe book no
well that was 2010
that's 14 years ago samre no na onyameye omampanyin abedi akire 14 years ago no chiro sa book no na ye Mahmoud Baumia chiro book no okan asem bi wo mu a asem no ene wabeye no kwafo asem ni o say oko page 230 lawyer was saying unwritten rules of the game.
Yes,
ahano no odi nkomo afa ekwan a amanaman titiru aman a afa no mo sen fefe no ekwan a eso mo fa so hihye omo niema ba no wo hwe Ghana ye experience enti asam ba ko kan ni say there is something called unwritten rules of the game. Say yakobo footballer football no your rules ni nyina FIFA ye den atro agru nkrata so enti oman bia wo beti mra na se no aye won hihye no you can be successful at football. It doesn't matter whether you are emerging or advanced country and until na Ghana e betimi ahye USA because you understand the rules and you understand the game. But when it comes to development eye oman chichire a enya mra ni nyina na yakuru chire gu nkrata so na emra no bi wo ho a IMF on kan chire World Bank on kan chire eno ne friend unwritten rules of the game. Nti ye Mahmoud Baumia o say international development is very competitive and therefore countries try to wrest a competitive advantage at every turn. Unlike the game of football where the rules are clearly defined for all participants, not all the rules of international development game are written down. Indeed, economists are still searching for some of them. Developing countries are therefore able to compete on relatively more equal terms in sports like football than in the game of international development, where there are so many unwritten rules that countries have to figure out for themselves. A unique identification number, an address system, and financial inclusion, banking the unbanked, are basically some of the key unwritten rules for effective monetary policy and financial sector development in particular, and overall development in general.
That was 2010.
That's 2010.
Okay.
Enti asɛm a no ɔka ne sɛ
me
mebɔ ne tɔfa maybe sisi a
kwadwo so ɔkya kwadwo wusu Dallas
mate megye ne so kwadwo wusu
aja kwadwo
oh mate mai me ma ne yakɔ emre ne nti na me rush saa no deɛ tie ne sɛ saa unwritten rules of the game no nyame ayɛ adom Ghana yɛtimi ayɛ deɛ address system, digital address yɛde aba, unique identification yɛde aba, and banking the unbanked, which is through Momo yɛde aba, and the Momo account serves as a bank account. In fact, you can get interest on your Momo. So the point is, once I was our system here, what you have to do is say, so Ghana ni biya a credit score, and then businesses benya GDA and I see a cheap baby a chere say odi ne fun we makofiton to se mento na minisika ni nyina obenya GDA say metimi atua na se mintimi nye den entua enti se me credit score ne ye higher. Usually credit score is measured from 300 to 850 enti se me credit score ne ye gooder and excellent. Sa company ni benya GDA wo mu nti obeka se kofiton to je fun yi ne tua no kakran enti na teacher ni a opese oto furniture kakra oto stove baako oje ne fridge na ebi kura onya Toyota Vet bi a obetimi de akwa adwuma no se sa teacher ni wo credit score yensi achi ba na dealership ni betimi di Toyota Vet na ma no francophone betimi ama no phone lawyers furniture betimi ama no furniture na otwia no kakra
enti the amomo table chira mo enjoy no it is possible
ha na lastly aboama wo wasetena mu ayemre no enam say lawyers furniture kane no na nipa baako ana mienu pe na betimi ato akonwa ni ntino na lawyers furniture ye nnwuma akonwa mienu no aton ne bosome ba se nipa wo ha na lawyers furniture hu say omo ye nokwafo enti se lawyers furniture nton konwa mienu bio bosome obetimi aton konwa sen wo ha bosome oton konwa wo ha bosome a eya adwuma enkofo no obefo mo ama ye nkonwa no enkofo no obefo mo ama ton konwa wo ha no enti obetimi aye adwuma 24 hours.
Okay,
that 24 hour no, it is not by the whims and caprices of Mahama, but that 24 hour no is derived by stimulation of the economy, stimulation of demand, and the Bemasa 24-hour economy.
I possible.
No, I may hear more time.
You need what will be a bright takwase. Papa lawyer always invite Kofitoto to be on the program. He's a very good and full of wisdom, and I've learned a lot from him. Agenda 111 is the game changers. Credit scoring is the game changer. Bright sense as
that is the true game changer.
Message, yes.
You know, credit scoring is what's actually going to drive 24-hour economy.
Lawyer, thank you. Please tell Honorable Kofitoto that Dr. Mamu Bawumia promises Okada riders that he will give them care. I think you mean car. Where are the cars? Okay. Azema Obisa Enyumbre Enena. Now this one says, good evening to you, lawyer. This is a superior argument and analysis by Kofitoto. He has really made my evening. The first, okay. That's thank you for your message. May Rashibu messages because our time is up. I believe former President Mahama has no clear policy direction, which makes his potential return to the presidency undesirable. Thank you for your message. This one says, good evening to you. So, Dr. Bawumia know all this, yet he couldn't support Nanado with his ideas.
Okay. Ghana identity and then the identity card.
This one says the lawyer accepted that Bawumia is stupid, but we are not going to give the steer to a a drunkard driver to take us to our
lawyer no
early-
one commercial
early
na
grave.
ba no.
Pito Ohene Gyan.
One advertisement na ba no.
Sir.
Hey.
Neomoye interview binana.
Ah.
Good evening to you, lawyer. I'm Sayamas from Jache Bosomche. The former President John Dramani Mahama knows clearly that his campaign has fallen flat and he is no more attractive to Ghanaians. Let us all come together and vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia come December. DMB, it is possible, he says. Hey, message, okay. Kofi, 1 minute, my time is up. So let me give the 1 minute back to you.
My man can't send me very quickly.
Read,
Mr. Kessben for mommy, America to
just 1 minute.
Mr. Kessben for Kakrebi. Hey, Minya. 1957, Mra Yenya Fahudi, near population just about 5 million people. Nanado Dankwa Kufuor Donkwa, under the free SHS policy, has educated 5.7 million as of the end of 2023 academic year. 5.3 by the end of 2024 academic year. Nanado Dankwa Kufuor government would have educated 6.5 million young people, more than the entire population of the Republic of Ghana in 1957. It tells you, say, Yehia Kendinia, who is coming to protect Lee Kuan Yew, say, from the book, from the third world to the first world, say, to build Singapore into an advanced economy, he must ensure, say, every Singaporean has quality education. Nanado Dankwa Kufuor adia waye, aye Mahmoud Bawumia boni chidom. It is going to serve as the singular most development agent, catalyst in the history of this republic.
We'll have another opportunity another time to continue with this engagement. Thank you so much, Kofi Tonto, who is a political aide to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia for the 2024 general elections. Thank you, Kofi. We'll have another time. Producers of the program, thank you so much. So Nyankopon yadma na wo se na ebesa besomo e o punch juma dey so makra Nyankopon nka mo.